up, you guys? If you are new here, which you probably are considering I have 2 videos and 45 subscribers, my name is Olivia. I am starting a new series today where I'm going to talk about the FBI's top 10 most wanted. I'm kind of excited for this because I've always been super interested in the unsolved crime part of things. Maybe we can bring awareness to it and you guys can keep an eye out for these guys that are hidden out there. So hopefully they get found eventually, because it's kind of terrifying. Know that there are literal murderers out there. So today we are going to be talking about Jason Derek Brown. Now let's get right into it. Oh, I feel like a real YouTuber. Alright, so Jason Derek Brown. He seems like a normal guy, but he is not. He always had this super surfer dude look and attitude towards him, where he looks super chill and just like a normal guy. I'll insert some pictures right here so you can see for yourself. He looks like the kind of guy that you might trust. You know, if you just saw him on the street, you might look at him and think he's totally normal. He's not. Jason Derek Brown is currently on the run, hidden somewhere in the world for theft and murder. There is currently a $200,000 reward for whoever can find him. So Brown was born in California. He graduated from high school. He speaks fluent French, and he actually got a master's degree in international business. So he knows a thing or two about money. He grew up Mormon and was part of the Mormon church, and he actually did part of his missions trip in France. Not part of it. He did all of his missions trip in France. Brown moved to Salt Lake City and he opened a couple different businesses. One was called On the Doorstep Advertising and the other was a toy store. Yeah, like for kids. Imagine being the parent that goes to the toy store wanting to get a Barbie for little Susie or little Jimmy because it's 2004 and, you know, we're open-minded about things. You go to the store to get a Barbie for your child, and then a man hands it to you, and it's a future fugitive, murderer, robber. Imagine being that parent. That's terrifying. I hate it. Thanks. Okay, let's move on. He also worked as a golf importer, and he told all of his neighbors that he had a job in the golf business. And he was always super friendly to his neighbors and just really kind to them and acted like a normal guy. As I said before, he looks totally normal, nothing out of the ordinary, just a normal guy. And all of his friends and neighbors, they thought he was super fine, super normal, friendly. They all liked him. They had no problem with him at all. The problem was Brown always had a very, very expensive taste. In order to pay for everything he wanted, you know, boats, jet skis, motorcycles, cars, like all of it, the whole shebang, he had to resort to something that probably the rest of us would not do. So in November of 2004, he bought a Glock pistol and took a class at the totally awesome shooting range. And this was not totally awesome, despite the name of the place he went. Also, can we please not make this about gun control? Let's not go there. During the class, he was fingerprinted, so that all got in the system, and we are so lucky to have that, so we were able to figure out, you know, track him a little bit harder. Brown's instructor actually described him as a very obnoxious student who actually shot his gun and it hit a van, causing over $1,000 in damage fines. So Brown was living in Arizona near the UMC movie theater. He was staying at a hotel there, and the night before the crime, he was last seen in front of the movie theater talking to a man who has not been identified to this day. We still don't know who it is. We're, you know, on the lookout for him. Not our top priority, but I'll insert a picture so that you can see what he looks like. he possibly could be an accomplice, though. It was November 29th of 2004 that Robert Palomares, he was a 24-year-old armored truck security guard. It was 10 a.m. and they were making deposits at the movie theater. And then a hooded man with the same Glock pistol came and shot Palomares. He shot him once in the face. Palomares fell down and started bleeding out, and the hooded man shot him 5 more times in the face, and one time that missed as he was bleeding out, execution style. He then took a bicycle, got on it with $56,000 of cash, and escaped. It is so sad what he did to Palomares. That he was so young, and that's like the age where you just graduate college and you're starting to get married and settle down. And there's interviews with his brother who said that destroyed their family, and that his parents split up, and that Palomares was really the glue that held them all together. And because of Brown shooting him like that and murdering him, he just destroyed a life and a family and so many things that could have been. Originally, witnesses described the hooded figure as a 25 to 30-year-old Hispanic man. We now know that it was Jason Derek Brown. His bicycle was found a ways away, thrown into the bushes, tossed off, and the police, they took it and fingerprinted it, dusted it, and they were able to find Brown's fingerprints on there. So luckily, he took that class, so we were able to track who it was. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. It wouldn't have been good. As I said before, Brown always had a super expensive taste, and he had such a huge problem paying for things. He would open up different credit cards and bank accounts, and eventually the banks just started coming for him, trying to get that money back for him that he borrowed to buy all of these different little toys. That is probably why he ended up doing what he did and robbing the bank. He then fled from Arizona to Nevada and then Las Vegas, which is in Nevada, so yeah. He then traded a car that he was using for a black Cadillac. He then traveled to Orange County, Florida, staying with his sister for a few days. The FBI was super close to tracking him down. They finally got a warrant for his arrest and they were on their way. But they missed him by 2 hours. Word got out to Jason that the authorities were after him and for his arrest, so he left as soon as he could. He traveled down south closer to the border of Mexico and stopped to fill up some gas. And then, instead of fleeing into Mexico and leaving the border, he drove back up. After he went down close to Mexico, he just went totally off the grid. That is the last we have seen and heard from him. That is confirmed. Though we do know that he went up to Portland, where he parked his car, his Cadillac, in the Portland International Airport parking lot. I live fairly close to Portland. Here's the thing. There could have been some time in my life where I was possibly in the same city as one of the FBI's top most wanted, and that's terrifying. I hate it. Brown's brother, David Brown, was also charged with tampering with evidence, as they believe that he cleaned out Jason's car. And we also know that Jason sent a package full of clothes and other miscellaneous items to his brother, but not quite sure what they were. In 2005 alone, just the year after the crime, there was more than 200 leads. This is just in 1 year. They were in America, outside of America. There was plenty in California just because of Brown's little surfer dude attitude and look. Some reporters have said he looks a lot like the actor Sean Penn. And there has been one instance where one of Penn's body doubles was arrested because they thought he was Jason Derek Brown. Some people think he may be living with the Mormon community with someone who may or may not know his identity because he did grow up Mormon. He also may be living in France since he speaks fluent French. That's a possibility. That's what some authorities think. That is the second time I've tried to film a video, gotten a little ways in, or a long ways, as I did the first time, and realized my camera wasn't on. Anyways, we're going to try this for a third time. And if it doesn't work, Brown had asked his friends before, how easy do you think it would be to rob a bank? And they all kind of laughed it off and just took it as he was joking. And as you would if someone like that said something. But the scariest part is, when people say that to you, maybe they're not joking. That's what we can take from this, is people could be serious. My friends make jokes like that all the time. I don't know about you, but my friends make weird jokes, dark humor. It's funny, all that stuff. But how do we know when they're joking? You gotta trust them, you know? But Brown had also told his friends that he had been thinking about getting plastic surgery. So that's what gives us a little issue here. After he committed the murder and robbery, he could have gone and had some work done on his face and altered his appearance. So things we have to look out for is bone structure of the face and body and also his eyes, because you can't change those. Last time he was seen, he was 5'10", white male, sandy blonde hair, green eyes, and about 150 to 180 pounds. Most of those are things you can change, not really. I'm going to be inserting some pictures so you can see what he looked like at this time. But this was in 2004, keep that in mind. So he looks older now, and he may have a whole new face. One of the last times he was seen was in Salt Lake City. He was at a stoplight near Hoggle Zoo, and someone who was one of his friends looked over and they made eye contact. His friend immediately recognized him, as Brown recognized his friend, and he just sped through the red light and just got out of there. The friend immediately reported him to the FBI, and they were on the lookout for him but couldn't find anything. The friend did report that Brown had longer hair than he did at the time of the disappearance. So authorities do believe some places that he is most likely to be living in is Salt Lake City, Los Angeles, or Southern California area, or Portland, Oregon, which I hate. I don't want him to be living in Portland or anywhere. I want him to be found, but you know what I mean. So if you guys live near those areas, please keep an eye out. Please. Or really just anywhere. If you see someone who may look like him or you hear anything, I'm going to link down below the FBI site where you can submit your tips. He's been on the run since 2004. There's been a murderer out there since 2004 that could be living next to you or me. He could be your neighbor. He could be anywhere. We don't know. He could be in America. He could be in another country. He could be dead, but, you know, we say that's unlikely. There was someone a little bit ago who was found and fingerprinted, but those fingerprints didn't match Jason Derek Brown's. He did look like him, but wasn't the same fingerprints, so there's that. But really, guys, if you know anything or think you see something, please submit a tip. This is why so many times there are bad people still out there, because people are too afraid to speak up and try to stop them. Guys, I know I may have been joking around a little bit in this video, but in all reality, it is so sad what happened to Paul Amares when he was shot and killed, just so horribly. He was a young man who had such a big life ahead of him, and he loved his family loved him, and that tore them apart. No one deserves that. What Brown did is just evil, and hopefully we can stop him. He will be found soon. He is currently on the FBI's most wanted list. Okay, so I forgot to mention that I was researching this a little bit, and I saw on YouTube that there was a man who posted a video of how it looked like Jason Derek Brown had stolen his identity on Facebook and made an account under this man's name. I'm going to link it down below. It's pretty weird, but go check it out. That's definitely something you want to see. Okay, bye. Alright guys, that's all I have for today. Make sure to keep an eye out. I'm going to say it one more time, and you're probably going to get annoyed with how much I said it in the video, but you know. But that's all I have for today. Be sure to go follow me down below and subscribe, like, comment, all those kinds of things that you're supposed to say when you're on YouTube. Right, love you all so much. Until next video, bye.